let you down. And I know that I was not always around. I made you feel alone. You spent most of your nights just sitting on your own. I should have done so much more, like giving you the things you asked me for. And I know I was wrong. It's what I try to tell you with my song. Tell you with my song. What if I said I'm sorry? What if I'd make a scene? Wouldn't that make you mine again? You're all I'll ever need. Didn't I make you laugh? Didn't I make you smile? Didn't I make you feel like you were happy for a while? I know that I've done so many things that let you down, but I hope that you give me one more chance to make you mine. When I close my eyes, you know that you're the only thing I see, and it makes me cry to think that you are no longer with me. What if I said I'm sorry? What if I make a scene? Wouldn't that make you mine again? All I ever need. Didn't I make you laugh? Didn't I make you smile? Didn't I make you feel like you were happy for a while? I know that I've done so many things that let you down, but I hope that you give me one more chance to make you mine. What if I said I'm sorry? What if I said I'm sorry? Look out, here she comes, the woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel, because she has someone who makes her happy. I'm a ghost in these walls, or at least I try to be. 'Cause I hope that I'm not showing how I feel for her, but she won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture in my mind. It's just the two of us, just the two of us. But I know I have to try to let her go, because she won't be mine. I listen when she talks, I watch her when she walks. She She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before. But she will never know that I love her so well. She's with somebody else and I will have to let her go. She will never know, na-na. Never know, na-na. She will never know, na-na. Never know, na-na. She'll never know. It's like she stole my heart without knowing she did. But I guess that it will pass. Yeah, I can't be the only one who got lost inside the blue of those eyes. I've gotta let her go. I know it won't be easy. I wanna hold her close, but I have to try as hard as I can, 'cause she'll never be mine. I listen when she talks, I watch her when she walks. She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before. She will never know that I love her so well. She's with somebody else and I will have to let her go. She will never know, na-na. Never know, na-na. 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 She'll never know.
두 눈을 감아 끈적한 내 봄날을 꺼내어 춥기만 한 이 계절을 물들여 덜컥 너의 기억이 쏟아져 내리면 속절없이 시간은 또 돌아가 꿈에서 보았던 라일락 꽃잎이 보랏빛으로 내게 한순간 스며들어 오랫동안 나만을 기다리는 것처럼 아련하게 꿈속에 너를 끌어안아 이 꽃잎처럼 흩어져 날아가 this rodeo written on my back window. I've never tried this before. I met you. Here we go into the wideness unknown. You seem to shift what I thought that I knew. Kaleidoscope, both of us changing our pattern with every spin. Kaleidoscope, glass bits and pieces from planets that I've never been. I am fixated on every new shape you're making. Turn brass ring, here I am aiming to please. Comets and asteroid blues cross between us. Fall, summer, spring, steady and bleak, wintering. You are a lantern to me.